Welcome back. Welcome back. How's everybody doing? I am so excited. I'm just busting at the seams. I am your host, Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and you have joined us for a Queens Roundtable Quarterly Symposium. We do this in January, May, and September. And this one is specifically honoring the mom CEOs and girl bosses across the globe. All right, for all that you all do. Just want you to know that we appreciate you and how you are juggling, holding all those balls. You don't even drop one of them, and basically honor you for all the great work that you do. So again, I am Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. I am a confidence and success coach. I am also a speaker, an author, and a clinician. And as you know, the host for A Queens Roundtable Quarterly Symposium and your host for A Queens Roundtable television show, which is on the Experience on Demand Television Network. So without further ado, I hope you have your pen and your pad, okay? Because I have another powerhouse coming to the stage, and she's going to be dropping some gems as well. So hope you're ready. Okay, I'm going to bring her out. So thanks again, and I will see you all after this segment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anika MBG Wilson. I am the founder and owner of Nobody Greater LLC. I am so excited to be here today. I am so many things, like Jackie said. I am a speaker. I am a conference curator of the IMFLUAXION conference series. I am a mom of 3 beautiful but special needs children. I am an active duty military spouse. I am a PhD student. Getting my PhD in industrial organizational psychology. And I'm a podcast host, Your Voice, Your Power with Anika. And I am an activation ambassador for women leaders. And I'm happy to be here today because this is something that is extremely important. As African-American women, we are here and we're not going anywhere. We have fought to get to where we are today. And I am so happy to bring some golden nuggets for you today. So I guess I'll tell you a little bit more about me. I am a military brat. Both of my parents were Air Force. And as a child, I remember my parents separated when I was about 6 years old, and my mother became a professor, a dean, and she really pushed education. But growing up, raised by a single mom, I don't have to tell you, life was not easy. Life was always throwing curveballs. And, as African-American women, we don't have a choice but to be resilient. And many people will downplay our resilience and our strength and, say, oh, whatever, you just make a big deal or you're a drama queen. I don't know how many of y'all have heard that you're a drama queen, but I'm here to tell you that what happens to you is not drama. What happens to you is things that God has given you the strength to endure. And as women who endure, as women who have vision, as women who have adopted these missions to soar, as entrepreneurs, as wives, as moms, we are here to lead. So my topic today is cultivating your leadership and entrepreneurial identity. And y'all, I don't know if you've ever followed me. I don't know if you've heard my podcast or my conference, but in everything I do, it's all stems in identity. So I guess I'll tell a story. When I became an entrepreneur in 2018, I had worked for 20 years in mental health, in substance abuse, in the Florida Department of Corrections, where we all know they don't want Black women, climbing the ranks in leadership. And I was 2 steps from assistant warden when I left when I was 28 years old. I wasn't ready for the challenges that I faced on a daily basis in my relationships, in my professional career, and scholastically. I set out at about 26, I think, when I started my master's degree. It took me 10 years to get my master's degree. I had 2 additional children. I had a toxic relationship. I had blood clots in my lungs. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, COPD, pulmonary embolisms. I mean, you name it, I had it. I was in the hospital. I had chickenpox, pneumonia. I mean, life was literally throwing not golf balls. They were throwing soccer balls at me and hitting me upside my head. And I remember everybody kept saying, you always fall, but you always land on your feet. And I remember thinking to myself of all the people that used to say that to me. And I remember that they weren't saying it to me as a compliment. They were saying it to me, sucking their teeth, like, how do you always get back up? And I remember always thinking to myself of, woe is me. It got so bad that I was homeless. I was living out of my car. And I'm a caseworker. I'm a therapist. Why am I living out of my car? Well, it was because I knew better. And because I knew better, I had to do better. I kept going through this cycle of toxic relationships. I kept magnetically attracting broken people to join my broken world. And I remember when I finally put my foot down and said, I'm worth more. And when I realized that I was worth more, I started changing the narrative. I started changing who I talked to, where I went, what I did, what I committed to, where I focused my energy. I got divorced. I finished school. I got remarried. I started seeing life differently. And the reason why I tell this story is because my identity for 35 years was of this broken little Black girl who all she ever wanted was her father, who wasn't there. All she ever wanted was love. All she ever wanted was acceptance from a world that was not created for us. And so you may ask, what does this have to do with leadership? I'm here to tell you, as I embark on my doctoral journey, getting my PhD in industrial organizational psychology, you guys may not know what that is, but basically I study businesses, organizations, and corporate. And what I do know, going back to the 1800s, is that leadership and business were created for white men. And I don't know if anybody listening today is a white man, but if you are, you got it made. Lately, we call that privilege. But for those of y'all that aren't white men, which is all of us, I'm here to tell you that leadership is your responsibility. Cultivating a leadership identity is your responsibility to influence others to act with intent, without harm, in any and everything that you do. Your pursuits of happiness, your pursuits of success, your pursuits in relationships, this is all the responsibility of a leader. And I had a summit one time and it was on leadership. And I asked the question, are leaders born or are leaders made? Now, for me, I say leaders are born. As long as I can remember, my mom asked me at 4 years old, what did I want to be when I grew up? And I said, the boss. Nothing's changed. Now I am the boss. But what I didn't realize when I became the boss is that there were all of these lessons, there were all of these resources and all of these tools that were never afforded to me, because in every job that I got, they held me in not even middle management, entry level. And anytime I had an idea, I was told to dumb me down. Anytime I had a question, it was shut up and stay in your place. And the majority of my bosses were either white men or white females. At the end of the day, I kept thinking there was something wrong with me because I kept feeling like there was more for me. But I kept thinking that until I get this degree, or until I get here, or until I get there, I am not worth a title. I am not worth a raise. I am not worth leadership, because that is what we were conditioned to believe. And I'm here to tell you, Black girl turned Black woman, you are a leader. And the reason why you are a leader is because you lead yourself first. In order to lead any community, in order to lead any market, in order to lead any audience, you have to lead yourself first. And in leading yourself, that means having the morals and values to be true to who you are, which is your identity, your authentic identity. Now I'm gonna break this down in a whole different way. I said all that to say, stop following other people that don't have your best interest in heart. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else on social media. Stop looking for validation in all the wrong places. When you take the time to look inside and you solve your internal problems with internal solutions and stop looking externally for the validation of others, then you are leading authentically. Your leadership identity is you walking in your own gifts, walking in your strengths and strengthening your weaknesses. As women, we often feel like our dreams have to be deferred. And even in business, you may start your business, but you may look for sponsorships. So you have this idea of this project and you put it off because you're like, I'm not there yet. I'm here to tell you, you've been there. You were there years ago, but you have to catch up to who you were designed to be. And when you take a step back and you do the work and you really look at what it means to lead, you will realize that you have taken on the responsibility to take action and stop wishing, hoping, and praying for a miracle. You are your miracle. I often tell business owners that you can start a business, you can have a business plan, you can have a great product, you can have a great idea, but it doesn't matter if it's not in alignment with who you are. I'll tell you, I don't hover on social media anymore because I realized for 4 years I was losing so much time. I kept waiting for this answer, this aha moment that was going to bring me my course, my program, and all these things. And then I looked back and I was like, oh my gosh, I have created multiple blogs, multiple programs. I created my Infinite Women's Network 3 years ago. And I kept wanting it to be this big project, this nonprofit. And I was waiting for other people to come along because I didn't think that I was enough. I didn't think that my idea was enough. But I'm here to tell you, you are enough. And I'm going to give you 3 steps. That's part of my 12-step program. You only need the 3 steps to get started and to really cultivate your leadership identity. And the first step is 1, dump. Dump all the BS, dump all the foolishness, dump your past, dump your toxic relationships, dump your trauma, dump all the negative voices and the negative people that are discouraging you from doing what you know, like, and trust, from investing in your growth, from taking the time to really do what's important to you. Dump all that. I want you to dump it in a hole. And then I want you to take an assessment of all of what you've been through, all of your past. Your past is your key to your legacy, but you have to compartmentalize it, meaning you got to put it where it goes. Some of the things from our past was preparation for who we're designed to be. Some of our past is the tools that are going to take us and help us teach others how to get past where they are today. Some of your past is the key to your success because it taught you resiliency. It taught you what not to do. It taught you who not to trust, who not to believe. And it taught you how to change your expectations. While you're dumping, you need to make sure that you put some people in that hole. All of those people that were those naysayers that were talking about you, and that every time you wanted to take a risk, they talked you out of it and they told you were crazy because you were creative and you had ideas. Like, who are you to have ideas? Who are you to think that you can start a business? Who are you to think that you can have a symposium? Who are you to write a book? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And I'll tell you something. If somebody says, who do you think you are? Dump right in that hole. But while you're dumping, really take the time to be present with your past so that you can forgive and you can forget. Because when you stay in your past, you are paralyzing your future. When you stay in your past, you're paralyzing your future. There is no future for you as long as you're swimming in your past. So the first step is to dump. Step 2, determine. In order to walk in your identity, which your identity is your sense of purpose. In order to walk purposefully, you have to determine, what is your walk all about? Have you ever went out your front door and just started walking somewhere? I hope you knew where you were going. Because if you just started walking, your neighbors are probably calling the cops saying, who is this lady and why is she walking in circles on my street? When you determine whose you are, who you are, what you have to offer, and what it's worth, the sky is the limit. You have to determine what you were meant to give. You also have to determine what you're willing to receive. For many of us women, and many of us Black women, we are not used to receiving. We're not used to receiving grace. We're not used to receiving love. And we're not used to receiving compensation for our gifts. In corporate, we are told, just stay in your lane, take your $12 an hour, your $18 an hour, work, work $45 an hour, but you're going to take home $12 an hour, be happy with it, and go home and shut up. As an entrepreneur, you are able to dictate what you're worth. And that comes with your competencies, your skills, your abilities, your experience, and your expertise. You have to know what that is. And you have to determine what it's worth to the people that you have decided that you're going to give it to. I know I struggled when I first started my business because I was doing things for free. And I said, even ministers get compensated because they have to survive. You hear a lot of people talk about six-figure coaches, six-figure, 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure. You have to determine if that's the life you want, if you're out here to count numbers or are you out here to count lives. Because as a social service worker, I made a commitment a long time ago to change lives. For me, compensation will help me eat and help me live. But at the end of the day, when you determine your morals and your values that are in alignment with your entrepreneurial identity and your leadership identity, you determine what that looks like. Stop letting the world determine your value, your worth, and your gifts. Stop letting other people tell you what you're good for. Stop letting other people use you. Stop letting other people minimize who you are and the value of your presence in the world. Step 1, dump. Step 2, determine. Step 3, dominate. I love that word dominate because as a correction officer, I learned what authority meant. In law enforcement, you see a lot of people abusing their power. In politics, you see a lot of people abusing your power. But when you determine that you are setting out to have a title for power, you got your morals and values jacked up. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a woman, as a Black woman, you have a responsibility to lead with grace, with empathy, and with responsibility. As influencers, we are out here with podcasts. We are out here in chambers of commerce. We're starting nonprofits. We're writing books. We're writing posts and creating websites. Everything that we touch, it goes out into the universe for everybody to see. Every time you open your mouth, you are influencing a little girl who looks like you, who one day says, I want to be like her. And every message that you convey matters to some little ears out there that is holding on to your every word as hope for their future. So as you're out here, I want you to dominate your market, dominate your house, dominate your mind, dominate your heart, dominate your spirit, dominate as the force and the authority that you were created to be for those that you determine that you want to change. When I post cultivating your entrepreneurial identity or cultivating your leadership identity, I hear birds chirping because nobody understands the magnitude of leadership. Leadership is not about titles. You'll see entrepreneurs call themselves CEOs, presidents. You can call yourself whatever you want. Ultimately, your title and your label does not determine your impact. Your actions determine your impact. And you have to make a decision every day when you wake up and your feet touch that floor. Are you going to be the storm? Are you going to be the tsunami that comes in and just creates devastation and chaos everywhere you go, on a mission to stack dollars while impacting lives negatively? I want you to be intentional about cultivating your identity. And for me, identity is extremely important because for so long, I thought as a child of a single mom, then a single mom, which I was a single mom for 10 years, I really never thought that I would be successful, that I would own a real estate company with my husband, that I would have a podcast and conferences, or that I would even have a coaching program. I didn't understand how I was an authority of anything because I remember simply trying to feed my children. I remember just trying to get out of bed every day and go to work. I remember trying to keep my car in the driveway. I remember the days when people just looked at me when I walked in church as if I was less than. But now I have decided that I am not anybody's keeper and that the world doesn't determine my identity. I determine my identity. And in determining and taking control over my identity, I choose to lead heart-centered and intentionally to serve women and girls around the world who need to know and understand who they are, whose they are, and what they have to offer the world. Because when you know your identity and when you choose to lead, you are guaranteed to be successful as long as you lead with authenticity. Thank you.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't realize I was still on mute. Miss Anika, please tell them about any upcoming conferences that you have, any upcoming coaching programs and so forth, and how to find you, okay?
All right. You guys can find me, or ladies can find me at anikawilson.com. And on anikawilson.com, you have my podcast, Your Voice, Your Power with Anika, which is on all podcast platforms. You also will find my conference, IMFLUAXION Conference Series. And IMFLUAXION means Women of Impact, Women of Influence Taking Action. And the IMFLUAXION Conference is a series. Because I'm a military spouse, I created a conference series so that I could reach women in different areas around the world. And so our conference will be in Chicago in October 2021 and in Houston in September 2021. And our conference is a women's business leadership conference. And this year it is a mega mastermind. So anybody who is looking for answers, solutions for tech, for business mindset, for leadership, for photography, product-based, publishing, we have women from around the world flying in from Spain, from Arizona, from California. We've got top transformation, one of my friends, Kathy McMinnon, who is the reason we are coming to Chicago, I offer this to any woman who needs to be in a room where you can take notes and meet women who are doing what you are aspiring to do, or women who are doing what you're doing and you just need those golden nuggets to take you to the next level. So I invite you to the IMFLUAXION Conference Series in Houston, Chicago, or our virtual experience that will launch in December. So we will be taking the footage from each event for those of you that don't want to travel, and you will be able to come virtually. So like I said, you guys can find me at anikawilson.com, anikawilson.com, anikawilson.com. IMFLUAXION, or Your Voice, Your Power with Anika.
Wow. Okay. So let me make sure I got all of that. So there's a conference going on in Chicago, and one going on in Houston. So let me see. Houston is in September.
Yep.
And Chicago is what month?
October, a month apart.
Okay. So a month apart. Because, I'm in Michigan. So I'm about 4 hours away from Chicago. Okay. And then the one in December is going to be virtually, and that's going to be like clips from
Yep.
both of them. Okay, I like that
Yep.
idea, Anika.
Yeah, because the last 2 years, we had a bunch of keynotes and women weren't able to really capture. They were so busy trying to talk to each other and, and vend and shop and all that. And I said, you know what? Friday night is going to be just a networking event. So the speakers, everybody can come and network. And so the meals are provided with your ticket for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Saturday is all workshops. And then Sunday we'll do panel discussions and interviews, and I'll do a keynote. And so it's literally an experience. I want women to come, let their hair down, just be amongst your friends, your peers, people that you talk to online maybe 5 years and never gotten to hug them, like you. I've known you forever, but we've never seen each other. And as entrepreneurs, it can be so isolative for us to be so far away. I'm in Hawaii, and you're in Michigan, and we really need that camaraderie. We need that networking ability, and we need that connection. So I created something that I feel is an unmet need that hopefully women will be able to build lifelong memberships, which has happened the last 2 years so far.
Okay, so so people are actually going to be speaking, or is it more interview style, or is it both?
We're going to have masterminds. So it's going to be mega masterminds. So we've got Dr. Joy Vaughn coming from Miami. She's going to talk about business mindset. And she's going to be talking about the brain, literally from her PhD research. We've got a transformation specialist. She's going to be talking about elevating your legacy. And our topics are broad, but when I say these are women who've gotten their PhDs, these are women who are cancer survivors, they're literally going to be integrating all of that into a workshop. And so the workshops will be 45 minutes and everybody will be able to switch so that they can go to different workshops. You could take notes. We'll have agendas up so you can get it, but also you will be able to meet with the coaches in person so that you can spend, 5 minutes, 10 minutes and say, okay, this is somebody I want to work with outside of here. This is somebody that, and so we're actually getting sponsorships from tech companies. I got some things in the working. So the tech companies are going to be coming and they're going to be giving discounts for, your tech solutions, because I tell everybody, Kartra, Infusionsoft, we're out here, and as Black women especially, it is really hard for us because these salespeople are coming in our inboxes and LinkedIn and Instagram. And if you don't know to cultivate these relationships, which I've cultivated relationships over the years, it took a lot for me to get comfortable with having reps, and talking to reps over the years. And so now I've got some reps that I've been working with from these agencies that I want to be the one to break that barrier, so that people know that it's okay for this software. It's okay for this. It will elevate your business because, as Black women, we're not taught the leadership skills that white men are taught. I mean, they're molded from childhood to know that, okay, when you get this age or when you get to this place, you're going to get this, this, and this. We are literally trying to figure this stuff out on our own. So I'm trying to be that bridge builder to connect our worlds together so that women know that it's safe and that they can trust the opportunities and the resources that are coming to them through me.
I like that idea. So you all hear that, and the thing of it is, I participated in a lot of conferences, and I'm not saying anything bad, but I like the idea of the mastermind setup. I may end up trying that. I like that because, like you said, that gives them an opportunity to interact with one another as attendees, to actually be able to interact with the speaker, and actually do some activities, and overall, we tend to be a very kind of hands-on people, if you will. And a lot of times that's how people learn, either we're very visual or by touching or talking it out and things of that nature. So I think that's awesome.
And that's the thing, I have 3 special needs kids and we all learn differently. And for me, I learn differently. I need experiential learning. I need activities. I need conversations. I need something to make it memorable for me. And if you're just standing up on stage, like I don't follow TED Talks or any of that because I could care less. I mean, I have ADHD. I'm going to say squirrel. They're going to be talking about something. Squirrel. What? You got to hold my attention and it has to speak directly to me. And so that's why I told all the speakers, I said, put together a presentation with workbooks, so that everybody can take something away. Even if, they miss a few pieces, they can log into the virtual experience and catch up on whatever it was. But you'll know when you get there. We all come to these places in our business where we're like, okay, I need a tech solution now, or I need a coach. I got to 3.5 years. I had a coach in the very beginning and that didn't work. I was like, that's not what I need.
Mhm.
And then I got a sales coach because I was like, okay, I got the credibility, I got the visibility, I got the branding together, but there's something that's not, working, that I'm not converting. We need different things at different stages. And that's what's really hard to get women in the seats at these conferences. Everybody wants to speak. And one of the things about leadership is we have to know when to lead and we have to know when to follow. Because as leaders, we're supposed to be growing continuously. It's fluid. And so, yes, it's great to be on stages, but you need to be in the seat too, because you don't know what you're missing until you sit your butt down, And so that's the biggest thing too, is that I create these opportunities for women so that we can heal, deal, and grow simultaneously. It's exhausting for us to constantly have to show up without being able to do the work without judgment. And all of my environments are judgment free because we as women, as entrepreneurs, we stepped up to this responsibility without knowing exactly what was expected of us. And so I'm constantly just, helping it evolve as I discover new unmet needs.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And I got to look into that Chicago one.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I'm so close to Chicago, but I haven't really gone because it's so expensive. Like when I looked at the prices of those hotels, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So I'm going to have to look into that because I would love to come and join you guys.
Listen, I got a great deal. We are at the Crown Plaza, and the rooms for the conference attendees is only $109 a night. I got that thing locked 2 years ago. I'm telling you, in Houston, the hotel rooms for the conference in Houston are only $89 a night at the DoubleTree. So you got to get in, and it's all on the website. So yeah, if you're interested in coming, let me know. I have it set up because I want it to be an opportunity. We need to do these things more and more. And as I get into my professional organizations with psychology, it really, it brings home when we're doing those events, it's $500 a ticket, and take it or leave it. But we need the CEUs, we need the education, we need the experience because we have to stay up to date and current. Yeah, so everybody needs to be there.
All right. Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much. It's always, like Anika said, we've known each other in the virtual space. I don't know exactly how long, but I would say at least a few years.
Yep.
And, I've always, admired your work, and you've always been very easy to talk to, very approachable. And it's just an honor to have you here at the table. And I'm just, and you always come with so much, you always surprise me,
Thank you so much.
It's almost like, you remember, Mary Poppins, that Mary Poppins carry that bag,
the umbrella,
all this stuff out the bag, that'd be, that's Anika. That's Miss Anika. You never know what's going to come out that bag, but it's going to be something worthwhile.
I never know till I start talking. I got 12 different notebooks right here, and I'm like, Anika, stop taking notes because I got a dry erase board. I didn't use none of it. I'm never going to. It's just whatever needs to be said. But thank you for trusting me because, I'm just full of it.
Right. I love it, though. But thank you so much. So, everyone, we are closing out our sessions for A Queen's Roundtable Quarterly Symposium just for today, though. We'll be back tomorrow at, I believe it's 7 p.m. So we'll have 2 more keynote speakers tomorrow. I believe tomorrow it's going to be Kern Cherry first, and then Stacy Walker, I believe, or either flip them around. So I don't have it right here in front of me, but so go ahead, take a break. I hope you enjoyed today's Queens and all the knowledge and so forth that was dropped. Please engage with them. In terms of comments, they will definitely reach back out to you. And this is just, I just have so much fun doing this. I love it, because I always learn so much from everybody. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Harrison, your host for A Queen's Roundtable Quarterly Symposium. Again, this one, we are honoring mom CEOs across the globe for all that we do, right? And all that we manage. So I wanted this, since we're doing it throughout the whole month of May, I wanted it to be special. And just keep in mind, we are doing it every Friday and Saturday through the month of May. So like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Then we have 2 more weekends of Friday and Saturday. So please join us. We're also doing Clubhouse events. We're doing them for the next 2 Thursdays. I believe it's I think it's the 20th and the 27th. So Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's just kind of a networking event. I do have some specific topics, but it's more or less to bring us together so we can network and connect and talk about things that are important to us as women in business. Okay, so join us there if you can. If you are an Apple user, Android users, I'm sorry, but to meet up with y'all some other time. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks again, everyone. And Miss Anika, I'll be talking to you shortly. Thanks again. And everyone, I will see you all again tomorrow evening. All right. Good night, everyone.